Pete here with Small Business Resource Center and PeteGustis.com. Just going to go over some of the common questions from my other videos and what people have asked me about unemployment compensation and pandemic unemployment compensation in Pennsylvania, UC or PUA. Keep in mind, most of this information is valid in every state, but I'm in Pennsylvania. And I think that's where most people are asking the questions. Not 100% sure. I didn't ask where they're from. So one of the questions are, I set up my claim, but I only got 2 weeks filed. Keep in mind for PUA, you are allowed to backdate your claim to the date that you originally had your issue with COVID-19 that affected your income. It says when you file a claim, your claim basically allows you to file for 2 weeks when it gets approved. And then the system kind of it seems like it kicks you out or makes you think you're actually done. What you have to do is you have to go back to the login and then 2 weeks again. I don't know why they made the system like that. I almost think that it would have been nice if they would have just said, okay, is this the same for all the weeks that you've filed? And then, you can do it, boom, you're done. But that's not how it is. Typically what most people are saying happens is you file 2 weeks, it kicks you out. Then you got to go back in, file for 2 weeks, kicks you out, and keep doing that until all your weeks are caught up to current. Then when they're caught up to current, then of course you just file for the next weeks. Okay, I have not received any funds. What do I do? That means you filed your claims, you did everything correctly, you're supposed to get funds and you didn't get anything. You may need to review your paperwork. You could have got something in the mail, but if they owe you funds, that could be for various reasons. They said that if you owe anything because of past overpayments or other issues, they would not release your funds. They have to go through what's called a manual review. Now, for a manual review, that takes a little bit of time, and because they are basically so backed up, supposedly what they're saying is nobody who has needed a manual review are getting any money. If you're telling me that that's acceptable, I don't agree with that. And I'm not sure if that's right. That's just what I looked up online and what other people said. But what you need to do is email uchelp@pa.gov. Let them know that you did not get any funds. The bad part of this whole part is that could take 4 to 6 weeks. Unfortunately, 4 to 6 weeks. What I would also recommend doing is contacting your local government, Congress, Senate, House of Representatives. Let them know that you're having problems. It's a sad thing because our unemployment system is run by the current government, and they should have, in my opinion, fixed everything they needed to, hired more employees. It doesn't seem like they're doing that. A lot of people seem to be having these problems. But I've been told by other people who posted online that if you contact somebody higher up in the government, they will work on your stuff if they contact, of course, UC. I would actually do both because there's never a guarantee. Okay, my appeal date expired after I got my UC letter in the mail. Keep in mind, this means you did not get approved. They sent you mail. The letter said you had 15 days to file an appeal. Now you get the letter, and 15 days was 3 days ago. The unemployment compensation and PUA realize that this is a problem. They're so backdated that the mail's getting out way past the date that they're saying that anybody who files an appeal, they're going to look at that appeal like you filed it in time. Now, keep in mind, this is what was posted online. I'm not promising you this, but what I would do is plead your case. Also state in when you file your appeal that the reason why you're filing it now is because you just got the letter, and that's why. And you should email UC Appeals, APPEALS @pa.gov. That's UCAPPEALS @pa.gov. And that's for your appeals. Typically, when you need an appeal, one of the reasons why you may not have gotten approved is they did not have any proof of your income or your job, and you have to be able to show some reason If you're applying for a PUA, pandemic unemployment assistance, you might be able to provide bank statements, pay stubs, supporting document that you had some form of income. From my understanding, they will accept building leases. You can have proof of Venmo or PayPal. However you're collecting money, you can show that proof, and that should be a legal way to show your claim. Okay, other question. Backdating your PUA claim, pandemic employment assistance, or unemployment claim, you can actually backdate it to January 28th, 2020. Many people said when they filed the claim, they did not understand that, or they understood it but didn't fill it out correctly. So, say you filed 2 weeks ago, and that's the date you put in when really you start having problems in March. What you're supposed to do is email uchelp@pa.gov. That's uchelp@pa.gov. Sadly, it takes 4 to 6 weeks. I already explained why. I don't feel it's acceptable, but that's what it is. When you email them, supposedly what will happen is they will adjust the claim, make the corrections, and they will fix it. But it takes 4 to 6 weeks. I would make that the first step, and then after you do that, potentially you want to contact your local government, congressman, House of Representative, anyone you know, Senate, and explain the problems you're having and see if there's anything they can do to help. The pandemic employment assistance, what is it? Basically, it's a 13-week extension from unemployment compensation. So if your unemployment compensation ran out, it will extend it for 13 weeks. It actually is supposed to run to December 2020. And besides your regular unemployment claim, it actually opened up gig workers, self-employed people, business people, independent contractors that normally would not qualify, and it made it so that you could qualify. Or if you were employed for a short amount of time and now you're unemployed, a lot of times you may not have been able to qualify because they said your length of employment was enough. You may be able to qualify for PUA. And on top of that, it would give you an additional $600 on whatever your claim would be. So that's what PUA is. Many people still are unaware of that. So I got turned down for unemployment compensation. Says, what do I do now? If your income is reduced and you're not working because of coronavirus, even if you're self-employed, small business owner, gig worker, independent contractor, or freelancer, you can apply on the PUA portal. So in Pennsylvania, it's actually the same website, and it says apply for PUA. There's a link there, and that's what you want to do. I have a video on how to apply for PUA. If you look at my videos in this channel, just search them, type PUA. So if you got turned down for UC, there's a very good chance you're going to get approved for PUA. I don't understand why the system doesn't automatically kind of shift your application over, but it doesn't. I don't want to use the word common sense, but it seems like government doesn't have any. So going past that, apply for PUA if you got turned down for UC, and you should be able to get approved more than likely. Documents. What documentation do I need to get approved for unemployment compensation or pandemic unemployment assistance? You may need things like pay stubs, bank statements, a 1099, billing notices, a business license, proof of a building lease, bank deposit slips, past tax returns, ledgers for your business, contracts for work. You can also have invoices. You can have copies of Venmo, PayPal, and there's a lot of independent workers who've used these things. And supposedly, if you provide them as proof of income, you can get approved. So, also, what's the minimal claim for PUA and UC? The minimal claim, if you get approved for anything, is $195 a week. And on top of that, you would get $600 for the pandemic unemployment assistance. So $795 is the minimal claim that you would get per week. If you have a part-time job and full-time job, if you lose the part-time job, can you still get unemployment compensation? Unfortunately, the answer to this is no. UC and PUA are to protect your full-time income. The bad thing about this is I know for a fact, because the way the economy's been, so many people have a part-time job and they rely on that income. But the part-time job is not for unemployment compensation or PUA. Maybe that would change. Keep in mind, I have the numbers that you can call, and I will give them to you again. You can contact your local Congress or Senate, 202 224 3121. That's 202 224 3121. Or look up your local congressman, House representative, senator. Explain to them that you need both of these incomes to survive and you cannot apply for PUA or UC, and let them know that this is hurting you. So potentially they can update those laws. All right. All right. I'm on unemployment and PUA. I cannot find work. What do I do? Want to keep in mind, I don't know if they updated the website, but when the CARES Act was passed, it actually stated that if you're on PUA or unemployment, they realized that the economy was put to a halt and you are not required to find a job. Unfortunately, the website for unemployment and PUA in Pennsylvania still actually states, are you looking for a job? And of course, following the CARES Act, you could put no because you're planning on going back to your regular job. But if you put no, it denies your claim. So you should probably not answer no, despite the fact that the CARES Act is supposed to protect you and say if you do put no, your claim is not supposed to be kicked. I don't know if the website was updated, but I would show that it wasn't when I set this up for myself. So keep in mind that's what the CARES Act is, and it's here to protect you. You do not have to look for a job, but if your company does get a PPP loan, then you're actually supposed to be covered by them. You should not be applying for a loan while you're getting PPP money. So keep that in mind too. Also, one person had said if you get EIDL money, do you have to stop collecting PUA or unemployment compensation? And the answer to that is no. You do not have to stop applying. If you get EIDL money, you do not have to stop applying for the unemployment compensation or PUA, only for the PPP loan directly. So the EIDL is not reportable as income like you're getting a job. It's a loan. So keep that in mind. Also, if you do, part of the other question, if your job calls you back to work and you do not have a valid reason, so the valid reasons where you're caring for a sick family member, you're in danger yourself because you're considered high risk, you do have to actually stop claiming. So you cannot refuse work if your job's going to hire you back. I have not received payments for UC or PUA. What do I do? In Pennsylvania, they stated that there was a lot of expected fraud. Because of that expected fraud, they are issuing paper checks. Really don't see exactly how that could fix a problem, but that's what they stated. So maybe this will help. If you feel that there was a fraud claim done in your name, you should try to report that. Keep in mind it's 4 to 6 weeks for a phone call or email back, but you should try to report that. And if you do have problems and you're not getting any help, you want to contact your local House of Representatives, Congress, or Senate. Many people stated that they've been able to get quicker results by contacting them. And my assumption is they would be contacting UC. They have a better way of doing that, or someone in the government that would be able to get that done quicker. Number for the local switchboard is 202, if you don't know, 224 3121. That's 202 224 3121. Or just look up your local House Representative, Congress, or Senator, explain to them the problems you're having, and go from there. All right, Pennsylvania is in the green phase and yellow phase in the whole state. So as of June 5th or 6th, we should have easier access. And I would have to think the unemployment compensation offices are open. So there should be a local office in most major towns. If there is not one that you can find, here's the phone numbers to call. So you can pause this and call the local office nearest you, 8 to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday. Once again, pause the video, get the number for the one you need, or look up your local office too. There's a very good chance they should be open. Haven't confirmed that right now, but check it out and good luck. It's Pete Custis with the smallbusinessresourcecenter.com. Have a great day.